For that, he was a farmer. My daddy's a farmer, and he's pretty darn grumpy too. They know.
So there was Johnny Cash's parents?
So yeah, that's Mama Cash, Papa Cash, and then of course Mother Maybelle would have been June's mama. But Papa Cash has a good heart too, and on Saturdays, they didn't have much for toys or anything. Tommy Cash would say if they wanted a car, a rock would become a car, and they would drive around with that. If they did not have, the girls would make dolls out of corn stalks and stuff like that. But on Saturday night, for a great time, he would go into the truck, get out the battery, bring it on into the house, and they would hook up the family radio. And for 1 hour a night, they got to listen to the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, wow.
And so that's where Johnny Cash first heard June on the Grand Ole Opry, is that 1 hour of entertainment for the whole week. Could you imagine kids today? Oh, it's not going to happen. At the end of that hour, he would take it right back out of his truck, get it all ready, and they'd be good to go to church the next morning.
Wow.
Now, Mama Cash, they said, of course, you can see her big, strong, tall stature. Johnny Cash takes after him. Poor Tommy Cash, he takes after his daddy, and he's about this tall. They would say her hands were about this long, and she told you to sit down, you sat all the way down to the ground. She knew her Bible forward and backward. You could pick out any word in the Bible that she could read you the whole page by memory.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing. Let's see, the piano over here, that's a Dallas Frazier piano, so if you've heard from the Oak Ridge Boys, Elvira, that was played on this beautiful piano. And pretty much if you heard a song in RCA Records and you liked it, it was mostly recorded off of this piano. So if anybody knows how to play, I feel free, but I will not torture you with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah.
Played terribly.
I took lessons when I was a kid, and I hated every minute.
Right. The chair you see over here, that was in the video Hurt. I don't know if y'all remember that. I know. That's
Hurt.
it.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you'll have to look it up. It's so good. Don't ever ask a Cash member to sing that song. It's instant tears.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So we pass over that one quite a bit. But so he was, Johnny Cash was getting older, he went blind, of course, from the diabetes, and he was harder, that when you get older, that whole to get up. He was a very big man, so that chair was custom made for him to be able to get up and down easier.
It was right after June.
No. Whose guitar is that? No, nobody?
Merle, well, it's just a guitar that I think John had that
Looks
Merle
like
Haggard,
Merle Haggard signed it.
yeah,
Merle
Willie
Haggard.
Nelson,
There's a few people that signed
the
it.
good old boys.
Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson and Andy Warhol.
Yeah, I recognize Chris Christopherson signature.
So, do you remember what I was telling you about the caretakers of the property in the other room? Well, now I have a story about their daughter that had to come with them. She was a teenage girl, and she had chores when she came here. Her responsibility was to do Johnny and June's dishes. She was a teenager. Let's think this through. That's just not in their repertoire, right?
No.
So instead of doing the dishes, because you don't see many, these are all regional to the house, and you don't see many dishes. Well, there's a reason for that. Is she, instead of doing the dishes, she would take them out to the pond and she would throw them out into the pond.
Oh, jeez.
So John found this out and thought, that's a pretty good idea. So he started going around and buying all kinds of plates and whatever he needed at like estate sales or garage sales or whatever. And instead of doing the dishes, they would chuck them right out.
Now we got pepper plates.
Yeah.
So isn't that great?
That's interesting.
That's great. So if we come in and this
So let me get